Home Secretary Suella Braverman, the target of Westminster's latest witch hunt, has faced fierce backlash for yesterday describing the arrival of nearly 40,000 migrants this year as an invasion.
The British people deserve to know which party is serious about stopping the invasion on our southern coast and which party is not.
Naturally, Superwoman Suella's brave choice of language has sparked pearl-clutching fury from the left wing and the political establishment, actually parts of the Tory party too. Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper claimed her counterpart's language showed she wasn't serious about public security, while one former Tory Home Secretary told The Times that Suella's use of the word invasion shows what a, quote, thug she is. Please. But what do you think? Was Suella Braverman right to refer to the arrival of almost 40,000 illegal immigrants this year as an invasion? I want to know your thoughts. Dan at gbnews.uk. Tweet me at gbnews. Our poll running there too. But to do battle on this first and help you make up your mind, I'm joined by the Conservative MP Marco Longi, Executive Director of National Security and Foreign Policy think tank, the Henry Jackson Society, Dr. Alan Mendoza, and the broadcaster, Narinder Kaur. Now, Marco Longi, you actually point to the dictionary definition of the word invasion. You say it's an unwelcome intrusion into another's domain or an incursion by a large number of people or things into a place. So surely she's correct to use the term if it's based on that definition.
100%, Dan. And you used the word brave before to describe Suella for, guess what? Telling the truth as is recognised in a dictionary, but it's a truth that we have been told that we cannot narrate by a mainstream media and a left-wing
blob,
if you're exactly right. Yes, a left-wing blog. And we've been conditioned.
It's groupthink,
over
isn't
many,
it?
many
It's the
years.
ultimate example of groupthink.
Absolutely, correct.
Dr. Alan Mendoza, do you think the Home Secretary is right to describe this as an invasion?
I think I would subscribe to the same view that if there are people who shouldn't be coming to this country who then do make it to this country, that is an invasion. It's not a military invasion, but it is an insertion, if you like, of people who are migrants as opposed to asylum seekers, pretending they're asylum seekers, trying to use that as a sort of situation, allowing them to come to this country, and clearly they will get rejected eventually should the system work itself out in terms of its efficiency, which is a separate question. But because they are coming here essentially illegally, knowingly, wrongfully, then yes, it is an invasion.
Narinder Kaur, you disagree with the three of us. Why?
Strongly. I can't believe I'm actually sitting on a panel with people who think this is okay. Suella is evil. She's an idiot. That is not correct terminology from the Home Secretary. She needs to resign for inciting hate and normalising xenophobia. It's disgusting. 40,000 people arriving in 1 year.
Narinder, hold up. How is she doing that?
Dan, using the word invasion. We are not being attacked. They are not here to harm us. They are not illegal.
Well, some of them are, Narinder. Some of them are criminals.
Well, actually, out of the 40,000, about 7,000 could possibly, 54% of Albanians were, their claims were processed. They were allowed to stay. They are not here to harm us. Stop spreading hate and fear. You are just misinforming the ill-informed.
So you don't have an issue, Narinder, with 40,000 people arriving unchecked in this country, taking the spots, by the way, of genuine refugees, genuine asylum seekers, when the vast majority, Narinder, are entering criminal gangs.
Not vast majority.
Can I point out, Narinder, that Albania is a member of NATO and is waiting for EU accession?
No, Dan, out of the 40,000, an estimated 7,000 could be criminals. Could be. They are not all criminals. There's kids sleeping on mats, Dan. There's children sleeping on mats.
Where have they come from, Narinder? Where have they come from, Narinder? Where have they come from? Narinder, where have they come from?
This new £69 powerful heater can heat any room in seconds without the big electricity costs.
Which country? Oh, perfectly timed. The point that I was making, Marco Longi, is They are coming from France, a first world country.
They're allowed to come here. Why shouldn't they? They might want to come here for family.
Well, Narendra, we lost you. We lost you briefly, but just answer my question. I've already told the viewers, but which country are they coming from, Narendra?
Well, that's not why. What does that matter?
Just answer the question, Narendra.
There's no relevance.
Narendra, I'm the host of this show. You answer the question. Which country are they coming from, Narendra?
Why does that matter?
Answer the question. France.
We've taken nearly 200,000 from the Ukraine, Dan. 200,000 from the Ukraine. Who said they're not criminals? We don't have criminals of our own in this country. We don't have rapists of our own in this country.
Of course we do.
The Ukrainians.
Of course we do.
Then,
but we've got to make damn sure that we don't invite any more in. Dr. Alan Mendoza, you come in here.
I mean, it's quite extraordinary, the exchange just now. The reality is that there are safe and legal routes. We have 9 safe and legal routes to enter this country. None of them involve going to France. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've got schemes, in fact, from Ukraine,
asylum
from Hong Kong,
have no
and
safe
from
or legal
Afghanistan.
routes.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
No, they
from
don't.
Afghanistan, from Hong Kong. Those are all asylum seekers. They're not migrants. They are people who are allowed in this way. But it does not involve going to France, trekking across Europe, stopping through Germany, perhaps, stopping through Italy, deciding I'm going to end up in the UK.
Lots are staying in Germany. Lots are staying in France. We're taking the least amount. You have to understand this. We are taking the least amount. There's children sleeping en masse. It's not an invasion. They are not here to harm us. Our country is
some of them are, unfortunately, Narendra. Some of them are.
But let's not scare that. I agree. None of us want this situation. I'm not saying we should have open borders. I'm not saying we should allow criminals in. But let's not throw away the whole cause.
Well, that's what we're doing, I'm afraid. Marco Longi, I just want to ask about the feelings of your constituents since Suella used the word invasion in the House of Commons. Because my feeling, Marco, is that ordinary folk, people who I speak to up and down the country, out on the streets, are absolutely with Suella on this. They think there is a huge concern about the illegal migrant crisis. And really, it's the latte-sipping, quinoa-eating set, which I would say Narendra is part of in London, which has a problem with this language, Marco.
You're completely right, Dan. And the word invasion has been used for many, many years by my constituents who've actually emailed in exactly those terms. I think Narendra should come to my constituency in Dudley, knock on the doors on the council house estate, speak to those people, those women and children, by the way, sofa surfing because they can't get onto social housing. It's great, isn't it?
That's a problem of the Tory government. That's a problem of the Tory government. 12 years of Tory government.
Well, Narendra, it's also a problem because we have to find social housing now for over 40,000 people just this year alone.
Well, what about the Ukrainians that you took in? You've got to find housing for them and the
individual families took them. Narendra, are you prepared to have an Albanian refugee in your home?
No, I won't have an Albanian refugee.
Why?
No.
Why?
Because the government, I pay my taxes. I pay my taxes for the government to sort this out. The government haven't sorted it out.
Are you happy for your taxes to go in? Sorry, you come in, Marco.
I'm sorry, Narendra. My constituents pay their taxes. And they can't get into homes. They can't get into homes that are being given to people they know. They can't even speak English, Narendra. And it is completely unfair what is happening. Don't speak over me. I didn't interrupt you. I don't know why people like you and the left generally always want to prioritise asylum seekers over people from this country who've paid their taxes, women and children who who sofa surf because they cannot find a place to stay themselves.
We're not prioritising them. We're not prioritising them.
You're interrupting again. Am I supposed to advise my constituents, a queue of them, who always come to me about housing, to jump on a ferry, go to Calais, come back in a dinghy so they can be put up in a 4-star hotel, not pay energy bills or worry about
It's not a 4-star hotel. Stop, you're lying.
Some of them are, Narendra.
There are many that
Some of them are. And we are paying £7 million a day for those hotels. But look, it was a fascinating and enlightening discussion. Thank you so much to the Conservative MP Marco Longi, Executive Director of the Henry Jackson Society, Dr. Alan Mendoza, and the broadcaster Narinda Kaur. So who do you agree with there? Was Suella Braverman right to refer to the arrival of almost 40,000 illegal migrants this year as an invasion? Tony on Twitter says, at last a Home Secretary who is not afraid to speak freely. I totally support Suella Braverman. From Paul, invasion implies a dangerous enemy wanting to harm, not someone fleeing danger, seeking safety. And Roy on Twitter says she had a backbone and merely said what many Brits think and feel. Good on her. She was spot on. I hope she follows up her comments with actions and stops immigrants from coming to the UK. And your verdict is now in. 87% of you agree that Superwoman Suella was right to refer to the arrival of almost 40,000 illegal migrants this year as an invasion. 13% of you, with Narinda on this, saying she was wrong to use that word.